With the amount of glaze 2016 gets in the rap scene 10 years later, we gotta admit, everyone, well almost everyone, in that realm of 2016 SoundCloud rappers pretty much became a heavy hitter in their respective way. Especially when we're talking about the, I know y'all get tired of talking about it, XXL 2016 freshman class. When you see this specific picture I'm gonna put up on the screen, everyone in their respective way have gotten their respects, and all of them are pretty much mainstream rappers at this point. But there's one person in particular who has never gotten their respect since day one, Lil Yachty. What's up everyone, this is Angies, and we have a bit to cover regarding Lil Yachty, because although he is a superstar and been relevant since pretty much a decade plus now, he's never gotten his respects, especially with him being a part of the SoundCloud wave, being one of the main people still relevant. He just never gotten his respect since day one, which made me sit back and think, especially with the recent controversies, is him getting back-to-back constant hate justifiable for him never receiving respects, or people just hating for no reason? You think of Lil Yachty, what is the first thing you think about? Some may think of his image of him having the red dreads when he was first coming up. Some may think of the weird yet catchy music he drops, or in recent times, the Get Ready With Me music, the way he treats his peers, or the very, and I mean very outlandish takes he has on rap, or anything period. But you would think music itself would be the first and only option, but that never been the case with Yachty. He's always been one of, if not the main person getting clowned on during the SoundCloud days, especially by old heads calling it mumble rap. I know some of y'all felt old after me saying that. Yeah, you could argue that Lil Uzi and Lil Pump were also the faces of mumble rap. I still can't believe y'all made that a term. I truly wonder, the old heads that made the term mumble rap, right? How do they feel about the current generation of rappers? Especially with the underground sound shit dropping recently. How do they feel about Too Slimy? I bet they have a stroke. Uzi and Pump wasn't getting that much slandered compared to Yachty, because he was having the most push out of everybody during that wave, with songs like I Spy, One Night, Broccoli, and one of my personal favorite Yachty songs, Minnesota. Call like Minnesota, call like Minnesota. I love my Motorola, I love my Motorola, I love my Motorola. Also being in a few commercials like Sprite and Target, for example, which is why I say Yachty was the biggest one out of everybody in this class. So basically the old heads couldn't avoid him even if they wanted to, which led up to some very interesting interactions with Yachty and whoever's interviewing him.
Earlier, you are the poster child
for
whack rappers. If they want to say somebody whack, they say you.
You're not the poster child for whack rappers.
It happens. No. It happens every few years.
Nothing about that. You know why? Cause you a mumble rapper, Bow Wow, a mumble rapper. Lil Yachty, you don't want nothing too. Neither you niggas want nothing. Cause Murder Mook is standing right there. Put him on the fucking camera.
What do you want me to say? You want me to say?
I want you to be aware of your business. I want you to know whether you're in a 360 or not. I want you to appreciate the culture that changed your life and took you from college dorm rooms eating fucking oodles and noodles. I want you who's well-spoken and articulates himself well.
My nigga, chill.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like it bothered Yachty too much, because he was always laid back during these hasty responses, and also he always knew what his core audience was, which is basically kids, the young adults. So obviously the old heads is not going to be listening to no Lil Yachty, or let alone understand what he's going for, which made him give himself the self-proclaimed title King of the Teens. I'm not saying it's wrong for him to give himself such a title, but this kind of started his ego boost that he currently has now. But it wasn't too bad at the time, because he was fighting against every single old head in hip-hop, and literally he was again the face of mumble rap, so it kind of made sense for him to give himself such a title. It seems like the more Yachty career went on, there was a random shift between this laid back guy who makes the mostly fun, positive music to someone who had to overly prove himself due to the constant backlash from the older generation not liking his music. This shift started with the very outlandish takes that I mentioned earlier. Starting in late 2023, he mentioned how hip-hop is in a bad space due to the low quality music, or in recently, he mentioned how back in the day when hip-hop was first starting off, old heads was basically letting anything slide.
Not all of it. No, you're right.
There's some stuff out there but it's so crazy. I remember in 2016, before I did my research, I didn't know this. If it was 2016 and I knew it was so much bullshit in the 90s, I'd be like, yo, y'all fucking tripping. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of weak ass shit going on out there. And just to be, matter of fact, actually, you know what's so crazy to me? I think about all the time. I always think about the first song in hip hop. I hope this don't fry me. It probably will. And I always think about a hip, a hop, a hip.
Rapper's Delight.
You know what I'm saying? And I be thinking like, damn, bro, y'all be really acting like we just just couldn't. Like we was the only niggas saying some shit that didn't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was hipping and hopping in. And I'm like, come on, bro, that shit was weak as hell, bro.
The song he used was Rapper's Delight by the Sugar Hill Gang, aka the hip hop, don't stop. I mean, in that case, yeah, he ain't lying, but dog, right message, wrong messenger. He's not wrong on either of those takes per se. In my personal opinion, I feel like he's wrong about in 2023 hip hop was in a bad space. It was one of the better years in recent times in my opinion. But the recent take about how old heads was letting anything slide back in the day, that may be true, but Yachty is the last person I need to hear that from. This is coming from someone who actually liked Yachty music. I'm probably one of the only people on YouTube that will admit that. Going back to the 2016 Freshman Cypher that y'all glazed so much when y'all literally hated it when it first dropped. But anyway, out of everybody in that particular group, Yachty music did not evolve at all. And before y'all mention Let's Start Here, I remember it being a good project when it dropped, but he went back to square one afterwards. And he also given features to artists smaller than him, which ain't a bad thing at all. If anything, that's pretty good that an artist like Yachty is given constant features, but it's always whack artists, so who is he to call out anybody? Don't get me started on the Concrete Boys. I liked them when they was first coming up, and It's Us Volume 1 is basically a no-skip album outside of 1 or 2 songs, but y'all know the most popular person outside of Yachty was Caribou, and Caribou couldn't write her own music. And her music was trash, so what that says about Yachty. Caribou is one of the many examples of Yachty contributing to low quality music because again, he's always working with whack rappers from Caribou, Ian, Georgiana, I can literally keep going. And now since she gone, they recently dropped It's Us Volume 2. And I'm not gonna lie, it did not hit the same as much as Volume 1. As much as I'm shitting on Caribou, I'm not saying she's the main reason of why it didn't hit the same, but she's one of the main reasons why it didn't hit the same. Caribou being around at the time, it felt like a balance and everybody was on the same page on the project holding their own. Except for Draft Day, I don't know what he was doing, but for the most part, everybody was holding their own. But on Volume 2, it felt like Yachty and Yachty Jr.'s the album. Off the topic of that album, I bring up the Concrete Boys because they're in a shitty predicament because of Yachty. All because Yachty don't know how to stay quiet. They can't get the respect that they deserve, all because they're under him. Not only that, they dress exactly like him anytime they're near each other, so the general consensus aren't going to take them seriously due to Yachty alone. All I'm saying is DC2 Trill, it ain't too late for you to leave because out of everybody in that group, he makes the best solo music, and Yachty being Yachty is gonna shun down any chances of him going up. And also Yachty working with artists who like are lyrical spiritual, like a Tyler the Creator, J. Cole, Sauce Walker in a way. Those songs are mid because of him. Now all of a sudden he thinks he's a spokesperson in rap when he's literally been one of the main factors of why it's quote unquote dead for like 10 years. And this video may come off as me hating on Yachty. No, not at all. If anything, I want him to succeed in the space that he come up as, but every time he gets the ball rolling and people start to realize that hey, Yachty makes good music, he instantly contradicts himself, acting like he's a lyrical spirit. And realistically, you can't do nothing but sit back and watch. As much as I want to give Yachty his respects, his music ain't that good for him to be talking near a microphone and always saying the wrong shit. But I'm gonna end this mini rant right here. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Yachty deserves his respects or not like everybody else? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. This is Energies and take care.